important part. And I'm going to
You
start
did
a
it.
timer.
Oh, good. That
I'm
stuff
gonna
wasn't being recorded.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So I'm gonna start. Oh, I'm gonna start a stopwatch so I can keep tabs on this because I think you sent about like 2 hours worth of music in. So it was just what 3 songs, but one of them was like 6 damn minutes long. So
Yeah, they're very long songs.
it's okay. It means that we can cut out some of the drivel of our conversation,
Okay.
where it gets especially crass or especially, erudite. Either of those we don't want,
Yeah.
Got to keep it not too highbrow, not too lowbrow, right in the middle. Straight fastballs. That's the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right, okay. I'm starting the timer, and I'm gonna say in 3, 2. Hey, everybody! You're listening to Witchpolice Radio, and I am your guest host, Stiff Wiggle. It's a pleasure to be filling in for Sam this time as we take another tour around the Manitoba music scene and highlight the best and the brightest and bring them to you. Today, I have the wonderfully, whimsically nihilistic Empaths in Retrograde to talk about their upcoming new record. I believe it's still called The Great. Is that right? Yeah.
Woo. Still called The Great.
All right, and it should be hitting your virtual shelves on February 28th. I have all 4 members of the Empaths here with me today, which is quite the treat and should make for quite the chaotic interview. Hello, folks. How are y'all doing?
Really good. How are you?
I'm okay. It's
really good. Yeah.
Could be
What's
worse.
going on?
Oh, heck, we'll save that for when you interview me, when you're guest hosting, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, but so let's start with just the real pedestrian stuff. Please, I would like all 4 of you to introduce yourselves. Tell me what your role is within the group. We've already bucked the tradition of the show because I've spilled the beans and announced the name of your group. Usually, you would be entrusted with that grand reveal, but frankly, I know you folks well enough that you couldn't necessarily get through
Let
that
it slide, buddy.
Yeah, you got it.
We would forget it all the time.
Anyways, let's take it. Let's start from the left, and please tell me your names and your roles.
Your left or ours?
My left. Let's start with Took Fella.
Took Fella.
The fuck, man. I am the ampersand. My role in the band is to play bass and produce and record and engineer and master.
Yeah. He is our master.
I am the master.
Yo's the keys. There you go.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm Snarky Remarkable. I write some of the songs and play the acoustic guitar and sing. Yeah.
That's good.
He's got the beautiful pipes.
Got the beautiful pipes.
Yeah. I'm Ryan Whiskey. I play lead guitar and I do some songwriting, a little bit of producing, and the good-looking one in the band.
He is the looks.
He is the looks. Yeah.
I'm Curtis Kush. I play drums.
Well, it's a pleasure to be finally firmly acquainted with all of you. And so how did the band meet? While we're carrying on with the most basic formulaic questions that are imaginable, let's talk a little bit about how this group assembled. I mean, every Winnipeg band has got a story where person X started in such a band and person Y started in such a band. But so please fill in those Mad Libs for me.
All right. Well, me and the ampersand here, we met at park alleys, and we'd end up spending a lot of time smoking outside, and I just started noticing that he was cooler and cooler and cooler every day. And then he showed me some of his music. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You're good at this production thing. So we decided to start a band, and we got our good buddy Ryan involved on the guitar because, like, best friends is the best way to do things. So we're all just a bunch of best friends. And then Ryan joined the band, and then we went through many, many bass players and keyboard players over the years. And then finally, we got my good buddy Curtis Kush over here. And he's playing drums, and it looks like it's going to stick finally.
Yeah, we might actually have our set.
So how many years, how long has the fumbling for the proper lineup been going on? When did the first sort of seeds?
8 months.
8 months. Yeah. Okay, so not a couple years, but an 8. Okay.
No, we're not that experienced with the scene.
Tried to make it sound a little bit more established, but
Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's this was your opportunity to establish a grand mythology and, you know, spread all sorts of, you know, falsehoods. But well, we may as well.
I should have gone folklore.
Yeah.
That's
There
okay.
were
There are other
elves
podcasts out there. You
Elves
can,
and dragons and different kinds of
Yeah, you haven't
mushrooms.
talked about the folklore at all.
I
You
haven't. We've
son of a
been
bitch.
sitting on this.
well, it
You met me in a temple in Kurdistan.
I was in a temple in Kurdistan,
Kurdish.
trying to get out of
Smoking some Kurdish.
trying to deal with the Winnipeg music scene. I just wanted to destroy it all by making the last great record, and the music that people heard and were like, you know what? I don't have to make music anymore because it is finished.
when
You
was
know,
the last
that's
time? When was the last time Winnipeg had a great record? Right? You know.
when's the last time the world had a great record? The great record. We've made the great record.
The
It's
great.
even better than the Tortured Poets department.
Yes, even better than a Tortured Poets department.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You're setting your setting the bar firmly in the middle there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was fortunate enough to hear a few of the cuts off of your upcoming record. And I couldn't help but notice that there were a bunch of like instruments and other flourishes that didn't come up in your brief description of who is responsible for what. And why don't you shed a bit of light on how that happened? Because I mean, that's probably an interesting story.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which parts?
Well, like
the horns and stuff. There were horns, right?
The horns.
Oh yeah. Actually the same. Yeah. So the horns. The trombone players. So there's trombone and trumpet in there for. For two of the songs I sent you, I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Jordy Ouellette.
Yeah, Jordy Ouellette and
From the
Betty Mountain from Apollo Sons.
Yeah, and he's in our band, my other band too.
Ryan Whiskey.
Yeah, and he's in my band.
We've always believed that if we're going to make the music that ends everything, we need it to be more of a community thing.
Yeah.
Because we got, we found our wonderful people that we love.
Calling in all the favors.
Called in every favor
we
could.
And,
oh my God. Yeah, we managed to make it happen. It's good to be friends.
That's the way to do it. And, I think while we're on that topic, why don't we just, connect the dots and describe a little bit about our musical connections as far as they extend to other groups in town, because we know they're there. So let's have them. The Ampersand, are you performing or have you performed with any other groups of note or released anything that anyone would have heard of, or has it been skulking around the open mics and just keeping it on the down low?
Yeah, I just keep it on the down low, the open mics, hang out and just enjoy the simplest form of music, open mics.
Right on. Snarky, what else are you up to?
I mean, nowadays I mostly just have this and the full benefits.
Of course.
With this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right.
And yeah, I've been getting some odd comedy show, which, yeah.
Seems appropriate, yeah.
Other than that, that's all I've been doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ryan?
I got the full benefits going with my partner Snarky over here. And I'm playing guitar in Empaths, and I'm playing guitar in a band called the Mill Homely Experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Curtis as well. Curtis is in that band as well. And then I got my solo stuff, Ryan Whiskey, as well, which Curtis is also drumming in.
Right on.
Yeah.
Kurtikush, what's keeping you busy?
This band, Mill Homely, Ryan Whiskey. It's all kind of the same.
It all
same
goes
look
together, eh? Yeah. Yeah, and so this was a question. So Snarky, you're writing songs for a bunch of different projects and stuff. How does that pan out? Do you have an idea before the first chorus comes around whether or not this is going to be an Empaths track, or is it just a matter of
Usually, like the benefits, like all my funnier stuff. So if it has a sense of humor, I know to keep away from the Ampersand because he hates that.
I hate humor.
He is the most humorless human being on the planet. So as soon as it gets a little funny, I know, okay, I'm going to try to give this to the benefits.
I just detest the sounds of joy and happiness.
Okay.
I detest it.
So this leads into the next question I was going to ask. Of the two, there are two primary songwriters in the group. Is that how that shakes out, or
it's mostly me, and then we get songs from other members.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we got this
this
sort of
guy.
this Beatles-esque hierarchy where you got the two people, the two primos, and who are
Yeah.
doing, you know, the lion's share of the work, and then every so often
Yeah.
George will kick one in, and every so often,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So who is Paul then, and who is John? That's the next question.
I hope I'm John.
You're Paul.
I'm definitely Paul.
You're
I
definitely
think that's so
I'm
much.
John for
You're
sure.
John for sure.
I
And,
call
You're-
Yoko.
You're Yoko.
She's a babe.
And you have been the reason why every band member has left.
That's true.
Yeah.
I am the reason every band member has left so far.
You heard it here first, folks. All right.
Yeah.
So then you are, if I may, you know, observe sort of on a, you know, very superficial level, you are for, you know, cis white dudes, and that's something that's not especially, you know, unique in Winnipeg or elsewhere. But presumably the reason why you feel the need to get up on stage and speak your truth is that you have something to say or something. So, but why don't you tell me a little bit more about what it is that justifies your sort of existence? What is the reason why you exist as a musical entity?
We write music for the horrifically uncool. We speak to the depressed and the sad out there. You know, we are a mirror of the pointlessness and boring nature of existence. You know, we've been to the dark spaces, and you know, sort of, we don't shine a light. We don't, but we, you know, acknowledge it and let everyone know that it exists. There's no light side, but you know, we've been there and we've brought it back, and you know,
It always smells.
it always smells.
We like having fun too.
We like having fun with it. We try to make the horrendous banality of everything fun and accessible, so that the cool kids can feel what it's like to be horrendously sad all the time.
So let's elaborate on that. As a person who's had the misfortune of being involved in making a record before, I know that at the various points of the process it's fun, and then at various points of the process it's life draining. So is that something that you folks experienced over the course of the last album recording? And
Oh yeah. I think so.
We've had some ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's always that point in the record.
Right. When? How long ago was that? And how did you? What was the sort of? Where did things come to a head? Let's get into the nitty gritty here.
I think the schism started slowly happening probably 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm getting the timeline correct.
I was getting really tired.
Yeah,
That's
this
it.
guy was burning out because
Yeah, we had done so much, and like it was just kind of like we got all the initial work done, all the creative stuff done. Now it's like, okay, now this actually has to sound like something. We're done doing the fun part. Now it's like, now it's got to work.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're recording this interview in a place that's kitted out for recording. So I presume that this is a home studio, and this is the place where the magic happens, right?
Yeah.
Now, is that? I mean, I'm sure it's somewhere between a matter of necessity and a matter of preference for working in that sort of manner. But have you folks ever done a studio session like in an actual studio session and worked in that environment? I myself haven't. I've always had to do the
once when I was like 14.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the ability of just being able to just get in there and do your thing, or would you rather be able to, you know, micromanage every last element of the recording?
For me, it's not really about micromanaging. It's just, I don't know, there's different mediums of art. Like some people use oil paints instead of acrylic. Mm-hmm. I'm not particularly great at any instrument, but I don't know. I just like the different forms of art when it comes to music.
I hear that. Yeah. It's the studio is a real sort of opportunity to let songs sort of, you know, develop and become their own thing, independent of any sort of other environment. It really sounds like these songs, you know, are there's a sort of a depth to them and like a, you know, just a complexity that suggests that maybe, you know, some of the ideas came about by just layering things on top of one another in the recording, is, you know, just going like, oh, you know, it would sound good here if we added a few extra backup vocals. The recording sounds sort of not maximal, but they sound, you know, full in a way that is like, they sound complete, right? You know, the songs sound done. And how much wrangling did it take to get them to done? Were they, because there's a you know, these aren't demos, right? And
Yeah.
one of the sort of hallmarks of a home recorded record is that they have this, you know, sort of demo-ish. We got tired about 80% of the way through, and you get what you get sort of vibe. So how did you how did you what was the process like of taking these songs from an early form, the sort of thing you might play at the open mic at the park alleys, and then make them into this sort of, you know, fully realized piece of music? Give me a little bit of insight into how that happened.
Well, we started out, brought the songs in, and we sort of started out as a jam it out, get the songs sounding. We got it. We had our first run, went nice because we were jamming it together as a band, and it was sounding very, very bandy and very good. But we fleshed them out, and we got tight as a band and recorded it as a tight band, and that worked for quite a while. And we got there, and then we slowly, so we got it there, and then we hit our first little bit of a snag, where it was just like we lost our keyboard guy, and we hit our first little snag, and we were like, there was a moment of what are we going to do now, and then one day we left a scratch track just on the computer there, and then we got our first real the monkey song, the cigarette song. We got that when this guy made a little thing without anybody's involvement, really. They built a song around a scratch track.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, this is a direction we can go now that we lost this guy. And that sort of, we started to wilt, and it picked it up a bit. And that was good. And that helped us get some momentum some of the way further down. Tell me if I'm telling lies.
No, yeah, that's pretty accurate, yeah.
And then later on we sort of had these 9 songs. We got to about 9 songs that were like, okay, we're pretty much done. But then it got really, then we're like, well, now we got to do the tightening and making it sound something, dealing with the little things that's having to redo guitar tracks, having to redo vocal tracks, having to do all these things where it was just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's so tedious and stuff. Yeah. And then luckily another song was kind of stuck on, I just had another song that I had tried years ago that didn't fit, and was like, here, man, make this a Billie Eilish track. And then he did the opposite and told me that he did not make a Billie Eilish track. He did not listen to what I said. But like at that point, we were at a very low point. We were just sometimes making a jam a week, never staying longer never making extra time for recording and stuff. Then this guy made the thing again without all of her stuff, and it sort of that song, you know, these are songs becoming. Then we managed to jam it out, and it was like it just felt so good. And it's
this
sort
is
of
the system. Don't mess with the system.
Don't mess with the system. Yeah. And after getting that jam so good and realizing that it's like, okay, we were able to accept that, you know what, we're at the finish line now, and we were able to push it. And then, you know, this guy had a dream of recording horns. He always wanted to do it, never got to.
Yeah.
So we did what we had to do to make that dream come true.
Yeah, it's actually my first time recording brass instruments. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of it's a lot of adapting and adjusting, and everybody stepping up at a certain time to make everything sort of just to get us over the hump and get us there.
Yeah,
and
it's remarkable to have you know, something that has as much going on without feeling sort of overstuffed or feeling like it's obligatory. And you know, and to know the sort of story behind that is it makes me want to congratulate you, because you know, it's just it didn't sound like the horns were shoved in there, which you know, it would be my if I had a bee in my bonnet, like I need this song to have a bassoon, that bassoon would be sticking out like a sore thumb, you know. And so but it blended right in, and it's good stuff.
You don't have the right guy.
Well, yeah, they just have the right
person.
guys.
Yeah, the
like,
right person.
They were so good. They just came in and
they just came in and like, yeah, for one of the tracks, I'm just like, make it sound like a lumbering elephant for these parts, and then during this part, make it sound like two old men having a senile argument about nothing.
Okay,
And
so they came up with their own charts or their own
Yeah.
lines or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
These guys play by ear too.
Yeah, they just played by, like, they hopped in and like the trumpet was like, yeah, Jordy was just like, yeah, I've got a part that I'm doing for this, and then Benny jumped in. He's like, sweet, I can do something with that. And they were
that's studio magic.
Yeah, they were some of the easiest musicians I've worked with.
Unfortunately for the rest of the record, he had to work with the hardest musicians he's ever worked with.
Well, I mean, the ups and
Not
downs.
me. What do you mean?
I'm a diva.
Curtis was such a diva this whole record.
Curtis, the word on the street is that you are the with the quote unquote hardest musician in town. What do you have to say about that?
I agree.
Okay, all right. Let the rumor stand.
Okay.
No. So this is the first Empaths full length release.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So these songs must represent like an entire lifetime's worth of creative development. Is that the case?
Yeah, these songs have been built over the years. Some of them are
new.
Yeah. We wrote a couple new songs as a band. There were some songs that I have been trying to figure out for like 10 years that never worked. And then we took some of my favorite songs from my old past and wrote a song over a campfire.
That's right. We got some new ones like She Comes to the City, Drugstore, Drugs Are Fun, are all new ones.
Yeah.
All from the summer.
Chase the Dream.
Chase the Dream
was just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I can't help but feel like there's like this sort of overarching theme, which is this sort of bleak, like I think I used the word nihilistic earlier on in my introduction. This kind of, and it seems rather timely here in 2025. Do you think that you've just sort of peaked at the time where the world is most ready for you folks, or are you just sort of shameless trend chasers who are just arriving at this vibe because it's super hot right now?
The world is definitely caught up.
Yeah. Because this is all by accident. The way this sounds.
I've been depressed for 34. I've been depressed before it was cool. I've been depressed before they had a name for it.
For sure.
Back when they called it just being sad.
Yeah. When it wasn't cool.
When the country kids were like, we think you have a learning disability, but we don't know what it is, so you're gonna go see a doctor. That's my childhood.
I want those to be the lyrics of a country song. No, it's when you said country kids,
it's coming.
We'll have to make it.
It's coming.
So there's has the songwriting slowed down now that the first one's in the bag and you're just sort of resting on your laurels and playing the hits? Or
no, we are starting to work on like this one. We made a tight 10 song thing. All right, we are currently working on I'm hoping for a 30 track double album of wildness.
Yeah.
Whether we get to that number remains to be seen.
It has
I don't think we'll have 30 tracks, but we'll have a few.
Now that this album's done,
I'm planning to do a 69 love songs.
It sparked a whole new inspiration for writing. Like we were caught in a lull for a bit, but now this one's done. We're pulling songs out of everywhere. New ones, old ones we're bringing back, bangers,
stuff that didn't fit the theme of the great,
right?
Because it's a very tight concept record.
Well, tell me more about that then. You can't drop a bomb like that without you've done it for yourself this time, Snarky. Let's hear about the concept of the record.
So it's the artist. It is the artist's journey through.
Okay, yeah.
Through you got but through another dream. It's not the dream of making the art, but it's a dream of doing drugs all the time.
Yeah.
It starts with the opening salvo of Drugs Are Fun. I mean, that's my motto this year.
The festival circuit.
And of course, I grew up in the country, so in order for me to do all the drugs, I had to come to the city. So that takes us to song 2. And then when I moved out here, man, friends of all of us, man, I was not welcome.
He's going for it, folks.
The sister,
still kind of not.
I'm still not. So I've had to deal with the scene. I was like, well, I internalized quite a bit. But they were like, "You're not welcome. You know, we don't like you. You suck." Probably because I sucked. You remember me 13 years ago.
No, I don't. But
I
don't
remember
suck today, but
you were awesome.
Probably you may have sucked back then.
I probably sucked.
You've come a long way, baby.
I've come a long way, and then and that led me to I had a mental breakdown in 2015, and found myself like having opinions that I'm a little bit ashamed of nowadays. And then like I eventually had then I spent a lot of nights monkey jumping cigarettes, and then ended up on the streets busking for change, dreaming of making it, having to realize that I can't, and even if I wanted to, I'd get it. The dream is not for me. Reality steps in, and
then what?
And then you shift. You realize, you get near your dream, and you're like, oh, you end up unsatisfied with the dream you get, and then you find out that you have to go and, in this case, get a job at a drugstore and find something that's like dream adjacent. Like, we wanted to do all the drugs, but now we end up selling all the drugs, and you just got to kind of smile and, be happy with what you got. And that's the whole, and it's a whole journey of life. It's a journey of the artist. It's a journey of the hero.
That was smooth.
It's everything. And
I think that's the best I've ever heard you tell that story.
It's nothing all at once. I mean, you never heard it. So that's the concept of it. It's in its tight, incisive, concise reality. I don't know words anymore.
He goes,
I used up all my words.
You had it, man.
All my words.
You had it.
All I had to do is compliment you once, and then you.
Yeah,
you should have never compliment me.
You piece of shit.
Thank you.
That was a remarkable bit of bullshitting, I have to say. I'm
really good at it.
Yeah.
I'm really good at it.
Well, it comes in handy when you're stuck in an interview and you get a weird question and you don't know how to handle it. So okay, let's talk a little bit about the record specifically. It's called The Great, and as we've discussed, it's a concept non-concept album depending on who you talk to in the band or whose face you're looking at when Snarky is spinning the yarn. But it's when does it? What are people can hear it? There's got to be a show. Tell me all. This is the promo. This is where we're talking about. This is your time to shine, boys.
All right. So the record comes out February 27th.
27th.
We're giving you a day of listening to it because
one day.
Because on the 28th we're having our release party with
28th
with Wonder and Rough Sundays.
Wonder and Rough Sundays
at the Osborne Tap House. The show's going to start at 9:30, and we want everyone who's there to be able to sing all the words.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to sing flawlessly. We need
so
like we're releasing the album a day ahead of time, so you have a day to listen to it between 7 and 10 times from front to back, because we're doing a whole show in front to back of the record. So that's going to be the thing. So learn the songs, and so the album's coming out on the 27th, so you can learn it, so that you can sing it at the show at the 28th at the Osborne Tap House. What else?
I think that's the essential parts. It's going to be on all of your YouTube.
Oh, it's going to be everywhere.
It's going to be everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere. If you listen to music online,
should we tell about the international tour, or should we keep that a secret right now?
Oh, let's keep this. If you want to talk about the international tour, I can tell you talking about the concept is a little difficult.
A great way to keep an international tour a secret is to mention it live on a podcast, right? So
so start looking. Keep your ears open.
Yeah. Well, you may have just manifested it into existence, if nothing else.
That's a hope.
We all know the secret.
Just like we've manifested the concept. It's all about manifestation. It's about keeping your energies. You're balancing your chakras. And,
we are the empaths.
I keep a crystal on me.
No, we're retrogrades.
That is not a thing.
Yeah.
Retrogrades are not a noun.
No.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
It's referring to those in retrograde.
That has.
But they are not called retrogrades.
Part of the same
We're the retrogrades of this atomic cage. I love that for you.
So,
welcome.
We didn't say welcome.
We didn't say
welcome.
welcome.
We didn't say welcome at the man. So we say, instead of saying hello, we say welcome now.
Okay. There's a good reason for this.
Yeah, because you're welcoming people into our presence.
Yeah, like saying hi to somebody is the equivalent to saying,
it's nothing.
I don't want to talk
Hello,
to you.
I'm good.
Yeah, just,
okay.
oh, hey.
Okay. Tell
Bye.
them about the next one. Tell them about the next one.
But welcome is saying, welcome to my presence. And that allows the other person to feel welcome where they are.
Okay.
And
How
it's beautiful. And then we get the power of saying welcome.
Okay. And what about the next one?
Which one? I love you for that.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
I love that for you.
We like to dismiss our friends now.
The most condescending fucking thing you could ever say.
This poor guy had some great news on the day that we were going and deciding this, and we were doing it. We were rolling. And this poor guy comes with this great stuff. He's like, we were mentioned on this thing. And we're like, oh, I love that for you. And like, he's telling us great news that we should be stoked about. I mean, we were.
Obviously, yeah, I know.
But we're just like, I love that for you. It's just like being the worst. And, this is what he has to put up with, this poor little angel. We get into our little bubbles here, and
well, I can't say I'm especially close to any four of you, but I would expect nothing less, to be honest.
Why aren't you?
Why aren't I? Because I am just the host, and you are just the band, and we have this invisible wall between us. But
I hate the wall.
Let's let the wall break down on February 28th at Osborne Tap House with Wonder and the Rough Sundays. Was the
yeah.
I got it. All right. Yeah, and you can check out the Empaths record, The Great, on February 27th, wherever it is that you decide to listen to music. And this has been another fantastic episode of Witch Police. I just wanted to quickly, before we sign off, I wanted to say thanks so much to Sam Thompson for all the hard work he does on this show, supporting the best and brightest in Manitoba music. It's a tireless, thankless effort that he invests, and I'm just pleased as punch that I get a chance to lighten the load a little bit here as he trudges towards the 1,000 episode mark. Hopefully there's a big exciting bash, but even if it's just Sam sleeping soundly for 45 minutes, I think that'd
be great.
I'd watch that. It sounds peaceful.
That's like that Andy Warhol movie.
He's been floating, he's been inviting recommendations for what to do, and I think, just taking a well-deserved snooze might be the way to go. Sam, if you're listening, which you certainly are, keep it in mind. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and tune in next time for another episode of Witchpolice Radio.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, well, I think that will do it. I am going to stop the recording. We only have this Zoom meeting cuts off after